What it is, what it do, what it is, lads and ladettes. Hope you had a great weekend, played plenty of games, played plenty of The Last of Us, and it's going to be a really heavy Last of Us video today. I'm just letting you know because it's just absolutely crazy. Me personally, I played a lot of the game today, and I absolutely loved it over the weekend. And I'm going to play more today, of course, and more over the week or the course of maybe the next 2 weeks. And a lot of stuff is happening, and more on that later. And hope you had a great Father's Day for all my fathers out there, and a great Juneteenth for all my brothers and sisters celebrating freedom. Now, let's get into the appetizers, and welcome back to Yesterday Today. This, of course, is the news where I bring you some of the biggest news you may have missed from yesterday, today, and then on Monday's case, over the weekend. And while we're at it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and scroll all the way up to that notification bell if you haven't already, so you know when your boy is posting. Now let's get into these appetizers. So everybody's familiar with Counter-Strike, right? The tactical team-based shooter, all the way launched in 1999. Well, that turned 21 over the weekend, and now it's officially available for drinking. And listen, honestly, this game has been dominating in game tournaments and still is. It's very relevant. And a lot of games that's coming out like Valorant was an inspiration was basically inspired from this. So big shout out to Counter-Strike for turning 21. Moving into the next portion of the appetizer, Epic Games seems to be removing cop cars from the most recent version of Fortnite, and basically probably for sensitivity issues with everything that's going on. And it's a very understandable because Fortnite is such a really big spectacle. It's probably pretty much maybe $1 billion franchise at this point, and it's a lot of people who are going on with the protests and everything that's going on in the world. They probably tend to play Fortnite, and they don't want to seem too insensitive because it's a big spectacle. And kudos to Epic Games because they don't really want to, well, we obviously know their stance, and they don't really want to seem too insensitive. So kudos to them for that. And now moving on to the next chunk of the story, it seems to be that we get more Far Cry rumors, and this came from Reset Era, and it actually happened earlier in the month, and nobody paid attention to it. And this is from poster Okabe, and they posted this, and it said, this person's a known leaker, and sometimes they're right, sometimes they aren't, and sometimes they're also a troll. And it says, hope y'all like riding horses while riding horses, and then tropical island-ish, helping zoos, using jetpacks, narcos, and co-op. Don't know what that means, but we're still probably going to get a new Far Cry next February because that's generally when they release. And hey, listen, it's good to hear more about it. I can't wait to hear about it. And even maybe more recently, I think earlier this year, or was it last year, that the actor that played Voss in Far Cry 3, probably to me, the most beloved Far Cry game, the only Far Cry game I really beat besides the original, he said he might actually be returning. So I'm wondering what's happening. Do you know the definition of insanity? Moving on. So it appears that Ed Boon has shown his love for the Marvel Universe, and he released a string of Marvel tweets quoting different Marvel characters, Tony Stark, Thor, Peter Parker, and that. And maybe later on he's going to work with Marvel. Probably not, because it's Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers owns DC games. But we know Ed Boon owns them, and hey, who's to say we're no surprise? We've gotten the Alien mixed with Predator, Freddy Krueger, Kratos, and RoboCop of the latest, and with a slew of just many guest characters. So who knows what happened? But Ed Boon, he's pretty good at teasing and trolling, and I would really love to see a Marvel versus Mortal Kombat game. That would honestly be awesome. And we're wondering what's going on, of course, with DC, simply because Warner Brothers, they're trying to sell their gaming division, and hey, who knows what's happening with that. So in the last piece of the appetizer, we got something really weird that happened over the weekend. So Sony released the trailer for Spider-Man Miles Morales for the PS5, but then it got copyright striked by Gameloft. Yes, Gameloft. Now, what we do know is that Gameloft, they make some crappy endless runner Spider-Man versions on mobile, but we don't really have all the information on this. But it got taken down from YouTube, and it amassed about 10 million views, which was crazy. And so I just can't wait to hear more of this story. And yeah, I don't even have much to say because I'm actually lost on this, just like everybody else. So I can't wait to hear about it. So let's jump into the meat and potatoes of everything. So today, in approximately a couple minutes after this video is posted, From Sakurai's home, we are going to see the next Smash Brothers character be revealed with about 35 minutes of gameplay, and it's an ARMS character, and it's gonna be in Sakurai's home, and Sakurai knows how to play with one hand, and Sakurai is amazing. He uses 2 controllers basically with a hand each, and he's showing off how one character can play. But with it being an ARMS character, I'm wondering which ARMS character will it be. And they also making sure we're letting us know there's nothing else at the end. It's just this character. Please, we've been really spoiled. This is what Nintendo has tended to do over the last few years. They give us something, and then at the end they tease a little something or say, hey, one more thing. But they made it sure like, yo, no, that's not happening here. So I'm actually wondering which ARMS character it's going to be. I'm thinking Twintel because she's awesome. Everybody's literally using their arms, and she uses her hair. So why not, that would, a lot of people would be like, yo, where's this character from? Why is she using her hair? And why does she have boxing gloves on her fist? And I can't wait to see what she would do, because she can also she also has this move where she kind of just floats. And she's really interesting. So that could actually be a good move to, when you get knocked off the stage for Smash Brothers, that might actually be easier for her to float right on back up to the stage. So I really think that, she could probably be pretty cool. It's between her, maybe Springman, and maybe some other characters, but I really think her and Springman are probably forerunners and really good runner-ups. So moving on, let's talk about The Last of Us now. It's been a lot of going on. The Last of Us, with it being review bombed, with it being one of the best-selling pretty much the best-selling PS4 game in the UK, and it beating Animal Crossing by about 40%. So let's talk about it. It got review bombed on Metacritic, and I can't even talk about exactly why it's getting bombed. I know why, because I've played a good portion of the game, but I don't really want to get too further into it. I will not be revealing any spoilers here, but maybe I'll actually do a separate video, or maybe I'll even bring the podcast back temporarily and have someone discuss it with me on exactly what it is. It'll be a spoiler cast after I finish the game and after some other friends finish the game, and I'll bring them in for the show, and we'll talk about all of what possibly upset people and why they're review bombing. And it's basically still on a Metacritic. It's 95 right now. And I do believe last week it was a 97, 98 right before it released, but it's a 95, and on a user score, it's 3.4. But the game has sold a lot over the weekend, a ton, literally. So I'm wondering, a lot of people would probably, maybe somebody logged on to the Metacritic and they would say, hey, yo, what is this game that's getting so high? Let me check it out. Or somebody, maybe they played the first one and didn't really play many other games, and they said, oh, they made part 2? Let me check this out. Either way you see it, this game sold a lot. And it's just ahead by like 1% of many other games. And you got a lot of people talking about why they didn't like it, and they're talking about just basically maybe it's the LGBTQ situation, but honestly maybe it's not even what it is, because if you played the DLC of the first one, they teased some of that with Ellie, and obviously if you've seen some of the early trailers for The Last of Us Part 2, they show Ellie and her potential girlfriend happening and having a moment, but not even sure what that is. And I will actually discuss that furthermore eventually once I finish the game. And I do plan on finishing the game in the coming weeks, because I will be playing nothing but that, and I can't wait to finish it, and I can't wait to discuss it. So stay tuned, lads and laddies. But then, now I do want to finish it off with some decent news. So we know Cyberpunk 2077 got delayed again last week, and it's officially coming out November 19th, but they're saying that reviews are going to be released after, I do believe this week is going to be a Night City Wire event, basically where Cyberpunk 2077 gets showed, and they're going to show us more. But they said reviews are going to be coming out because independent journalists have been playing the game, and their reviews are going to be happening after this Night City Wire event. But then also they said they're not going to be releasing DLC. They don't want to call it DLC. They want to say it's expansions. Basically what they did with The Witcher, because these expansions are a little too sizable. And honestly, for me, I don't know if I'm even going to get to it, because the game itself appears to be pretty huge, and I might be a little burned out afterwards, but who knows? I might absolutely be in love with Night City. I might absolutely be in love with the combat and interactions with people. So here's to that. We'll see. I can't wait to play on November 19th. And it's actually going to be backwards compatible on the PS5 as well. So with me being more excited for the PS5 right now than the Xbox Series X, that kind of puts me in a bind. But I do plan on buying the Xbox Series X, with it being the more powerful system. And I can't wait to see the best of it. And That definitely is a chin scratch and is making me think about it. But lads and ladders, thank you so much for watching. Tune in tomorrow, of course, and we're going to discuss all the news from today that we missed after this. And we're going to discuss, maybe that ARMS character they released today. Lads and ladders, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and hit the like if you liked it. If not, hit the dislike. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about the Night City Wire event happening this week, and reviews potentially coming out right after. Let me know what you think about the ARMS character as it gets revealed, and let me know what you think about The Last of Us. You know, let's keep it amicable, people. Let's be very friendly in the comments, and let me know what you still think about all of these potential rumors. Take that with a grain of salt for Far Cry 6, and what you think about the cop cars being removed in Fortnite. Thank you so much for watching. This video is finito.